Tonight, we're going to call to order the meeting of the Council on Aging Board of Directors. As been the policy Dr. Price initiated, I'm going to read the mission statement. The mission statement of the Scituate Council on Aging. The mission statement of the Scituate Council on Aging is to identify the unique needs and the interests of our senior citizens and implement programs that will enhance the quality of life, independence, and physical and emotional well-being of a growing aging community. So we'll introduce, I'm Audrey Reedy, Vice Chair, covering for Dr. Price.
J.D. Miller, Member at Large.
Linda Hayes, Director of the Council on Aging.
Dale Baylor, Board Member.
Janice Lindblom, Board Member.
To expedite things for our director, we're going to go a little out of order here and have her give us her report.
Okay, that is super. Thank you so much, and I apologize that I will have to leave the meeting early. So I will just give a very brief report, which everyone has a copy of and received by email. And as well, there are reports from both our transportation coordinator and outreach coordinator, and as well our new activities and volunteer coordinator, who had not, prior to this, done her own report. So she has some information that I did not include in mine. So just to mention activities and events, even though August was August and we had a lot of vacations and not perhaps as much participation, we had some super things going on. In fact, a couple of great talks, one on falls prevention by a woman who had grown up here. Her mother lives here. She is a physical therapist and teacher in New Mexico, but was visiting and had offered some time ago, after coming with her mother to our Tai Chi class, to come and do a presentation for us, and she was fabulous. It was wonderful. She will come again, she says, and so we will make sure we do that. In addition, Greg Lassard, local nature photographer, and he is a music teacher with the Scituate schools, did a presentation or a talk with lots of stories and some beautiful photography that he provided for everyone. So we're really happy to have that, and hope that others might let us know if they would like to share any of their expertise or talents and things, because really, when we do get a good crowd, they so appreciate the people that come in and talk with them. Pickleball, I can't help but mention it every meeting because it's growing leaps and bounds, and thank you to Betty Johnson, our volunteer, and all the women, mostly women, but I believe we may be seeing some men come in. But they played during the morning at Jenkins School for the summer, and now starting next week we'll go back to the Monday evenings at 5 until 7. There are 4 courts there, and in fact we've had to order new paddles, and we could actually fill 4 courts at this point, almost 4 to a court.
Great.
So it really has been fun, and I know they've gone over to Marshfield. Just to mention, Marshfield does have it outdoors, run more or less either privately as well as through their rec department. So they have a lot of players who are doing that on a regular basis on their own. And just as a side note, because I live in Duxbury, and I had mentioned it at times when I was still there, but in fact they just resurfaced 3 tennis courts, and one of them they actually painted the modified lines for a pickleball. So they're in. Summer courses, next Monday night, the 14th, or this coming Monday night, the 14th, is Bob Jackman's 3rd summer course offering that we run at the Maritime Center. So it is on a history of Hummerock, and it begins at 6 p.m. until 7:30 at the Maritime Center. We do appreciate a sign-up so we know what to expect for numbers. If someone is not signed up, they're still welcome to call the Senior Center and get signed up for Monday night.
What time?
6 o'clock.
Sounds like a good program.
We did run 2, one in July and one in August there, which had good numbers, 15, 18, maybe even 20. And in fact, also he did a 6-week course, which I may have mentioned here at the Senior Center on Tuesday evenings, 6:30 to 8, that we had a good number for, too, about 15 or 16 or so. And that went over big. It was nice for the summer to stay out late. I have been really, in August in particular, and you know about the Aging Mastery Program that is starting next Thursday, and we are still looking for participants, but we do have a fair number. I think we are upwards to maybe 20, and we would like 30, or at least thereabouts. But that has taken a lot of planning, continues to take a lot of planning, both with marketing, trying to get some materials out there, which it's always the hardest part and always where we come up, just feeling a little bit like we come up short. However, there is an article just in today's Mariner, beginning on the front page, Clyde Ruth.
Master agent for 12 weeks.
So there you are. So that was nice. It just took a while to coordinate, but that may help and bring a lot of people in. But that did take a lot of time, both mine and Lisa's. We're co-facilitating, so that involves just the weekly meetings themselves, we've been trying to secure the professionals that come in and do the talks, in talks with Social Hospital and some local people, and just ironing out dates. So it does take a lot of coordination. And as well, the fall program planning. So I started to put out my report earlier, and Jill said to me, I think you should mention all the new things, because they're kind of going crazy with all the phone calls for people signing up for new things that maybe either we hadn't had before, or there's a lot of overlap between some lifelong learning, the aging mastery, mahjong, laughter yoga, which we started last week with Jill. In fact, she had done that training for laughter yoga. It's a beautiful thing. So I hope everybody tries it, certainly at least once, and I guarantee if you go once, you'll go back. So right now, we only started it for her sake once a month. So she did last Friday, and we'll do October 2nd, I believe is the next one, or 4th, I can't. But in fact, I think then we would go to weekly, just because it is a nice thing to offer. We do, as part of lifelong learning, in addition to Bob Jackman's 6-week courses that he is just amazing at coming up with new ones all the time, we are having a 6-week classical music class, in one era and out the other. He has a lot.
Yeah.
He can do lots, but this is a good one to start with because it's a bit historical. It covers sort of the masters that we know, but also goes a little bit beyond it and more broadly into the eras for classical music. So that will be here too, and that's on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock until 4:30. So just trying, as you know, to use the space and fit things in when we can, so that really from morning till 4:30 and sometimes later we are busy. Newsletter did go out, maybe not quite as early as I had hoped, but everyone has received it by now, or at least had the first week in September. The painting was done in August, took 2 days, and that was not bad at all, so hopefully everybody likes that.
Does?
Very, very nice.
It really did also involve a lot of staff time, breaking things down, obviously, and then trying to put things back together and maybe rethinking some of our organization and furnishings and decor. So it's actually been a lot of time to try to do that, and we've made some purchases, some through the formula grant, considering still new tables, of which this would be one, which I think we may go with. It's lightweight, and that makes all the difference when you have to throw these things up and down.
We're
a
the
lot.
janitor.
We are, right, and bottle washer. So that's something I would just mention. Those tables will be purchased hopefully this week through the formula grant, really from last year. And then I just want to mention on a personnel note that it's not really a huge change. I just feel like I should mention it. So Laura Manier, who's the social services manager, and she will continue to work with us as a Council on Aging staff person, but really she'll be reporting more directly to the Board of Health. She really has been called upon in that arena quite a bit, and it just aligns a little bit more directly with what she's been doing.
And there's a real need.
Her focus and priority is still seniors and elders, and especially frail and remote elders. So, in fact, it's really a dotted line almost to both places.
Yeah.
But just officially, I guess sort of out of town hall, I just thought I'd mention that. But she really is still part of our team and will continue to work and do a lot of what we are asking. And on that note, I will also mention that I've spoken both to Laura and Lisa Thornton, the activities and volunteer coordinator. So they are beginning to work on the idea of a friendly visitor program and see how we can develop that, with Lisa probably helping to recruit some volunteers and Laura helping knowing the population that we want to try to serve. So we will start with that, and hopefully I'll have one report at the next meeting. I did probably just finish the formula grant budget for next year. I haven't had the official notice from the state, so I don't have any legislative information, but again, we believe it's the $9 per elder. But yet, we get a little bit more. We're under the minimum amount that they allocate, so we'll still get about $45,000 from the state to use. So,
And look, you can roll over,
no.
so you had to, but, so you can't, you're cut off from 2015.
15.
Okay.
Yes. And if you don't spend it all.
You lose it.
It comes out of
Okay.
your next allocation, and I have had some trouble with that. It's a
Okay.
lot of money.
But did you try like heck to spend it all?
I tried
Okay.
so hard.
All right.
So, and I'll try harder and do better next time. It's good money.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is my, you can, I should have asked before. I realized that now. Anyway, so as I mentioned, there are reports from Lisa as well as Q and Jenny, and I'm going to let you go over those yourself.
Sure.
I did include, there's some flyers here for the Rotary.
Yeah, I need some.
Which I should have included in my report and did not, but for the October 11th.
But it's on the,
Yep.
it's on this. It's on
Oh, it's on the agenda, that's it, so I left that. And
Fundraising event.
that's it, okay, and we have tickets, and the library has their tickets. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
And,
Okay. As an explanation, we wanted to listen to her before she left, but we should introduce our members, starting with
Lucille Sorrentino, member.
Didn't we already do this? Okay, I'll do it again. Dale Baylor, board member?
Janice Lindblom, board member. I'm Beth McKay, board member.
you. Okay, I just wanted to include the people that weren't here.
Oh,
No,
okay.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the August minutes. Every minute to read them, if not, we'll take a minute right now. Where Pat usually takes the minutes, is there anyone that wants to volunteer to take the minutes of tonight's meeting? I can tell everybody's What are you going to think about it? Are we all set? Everybody good?
We are.
I just think it's a good opportunity to mention the Friends have two fundraisers coming up this fall, which is Sunday, September 20th at 4 p.m. at the GA Hall with Bob Jackman, and the history of Scituate. And on Friday, 7 to 10 at St. Mary's, there'll be a trivia night. I don't think we can say that enough, so people are aware of it.
If
Okay.
anybody wants to buy any tickets, I have 4 left I have to sell for the history presentation. So, which is on Sunday, the 20th.
Anybody want to have any omissions or corrections? May I have a motion?
Motion, the meetings, minutes are approved.
I'll second the motion.
All right, you heard your director and staff updates. Now, the Rotary event to support the senior center. Lucille, do you want to talk about it?
We've had the tickets printed, we met last week. Rotary took 30, we're trying to get those going, and we left some with Linda, she left some with the library and the Friends. So, we're doing everything we can. I'm going to talk to Linda about, that's a nice article there, so maybe we can get Ruth write it, right? Ruth
That's right.
Johnson to do another one. you know, so, and then Linda is really taking care of the part where she has someone that she knows that will tell us what size and where to place it, that type of thing. But, you know, and the Barker is on board with it. They're very excited about it. I thought I would leave her some tickets too.
That's a good idea.
And I think this is a great
Yeah, nice flyer.
flyer. If you want to see it, it's a Scituate Rotary.
Sunday, October 11th.
October 11th, that's the holiday weekend, the Baca Tavern at 2 p.m. Tickets for $20, $15 for seniors and students. They're available at the senior center, the library, or any one of the members.
And anyone who decides to go, there will be a raffle held by the Friends, just a raffle of a harvest basket. So anyone that's in the TV audience that's already knows they're going to attend, bring some cash with you. $1 a ticket, 6 for 5. And the proceeds from that particular raffle held by the Friends will go to the senior center. Correct? No, that we're going to go.
That's going to Friends.
But
Yeah.
it's going to go to the Friends.
Right.
Sorry. I've been to so many meetings about so many different things. But in any case, it's going to be a lovely basket. It's a team effort. So there'll be raffles at the other 2 Friends events as well. But
Good.
as long as we're on the topic of the Rotary raffle. Bring yourselves, bring your friends, have a good time, and bring them cash for tickets.
Does it say on the flyer if somebody can't attend, if they can donate to?
Any
No, but I'm
donations are
hoping-
gratefully accepted.
Is that what it says there? I don't know.
Whether it does or
Does it make
doesn't,
the whole
donations are
state-
gratefully accepted.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I was hoping that maybe we can have Ruth put that in her article.
Yes.
Very important.
We want to purchase a high-definition television display for use at the senior center and the lifelong learning programs.
And that's a good point. The Rotary is doing all this planning and work and effort in order to get a really nice 65 or 60. It's
70.
negotiable on inches.
It depends on the gentleman who does the measuring.
And, you know, it will be installed here at this senior center. But in the event that we go to a new facility, the TV will come right along with us.
Absolutely.
So it's a really great project that the Rotary's gotten involved in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll take my $5 after
There you
that.
go.
Joan, you want to give us your report?
We met this last Tuesday because of the holiday, so we met this Tuesday. They have increased their staff by 9. And we approved several motions. They have started a vision team to work with the agency to go over and see how they can do expanding, especially with the media. And they've had, they went to Sandy and some others went to a meeting, World Conference Center in April 2015. And one of the things that they use all kinds of media, and one of the big things is Twitter. And they have over 3,600 followers. And they found that the agency was ahead of a lot of us, advanced in many ways in areas, a nonprofit, with the media. They do a lot with newspapers and advertising. So this, you get South Shore News free, and in it, this is their ad. And they have this in other papers. They also have it in a magazine called New England Monthly, which I haven't seen, which is in color. And they don't have to pay for these ads. So they're really doing a lot. They're doing a lot on the internet. They have big fundraiser coming up. The South Shore Elderly Services, they do this every year, Health and Wellness Walk-a-thon. It's going to be Saturday, September 26th, at 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree.
At night we're talking about,
Pardon me?
daytime, nighttime, 8 to
Think
10.
morning.
At night?
8 to 10 in the morning. It's a
In the morning,
walkathon.
it's a walkathon. Okay.
And then the health fair will be from 10 to 2 p.m. And they'll have all kinds of vendors there. So it will be a worthwhile thing.
Wait a minute. 8 to 10, what's going to happen 8 to 10?
The walk.
That's the walkathon.
Okay.
So they've had, names with pledges, and that's been going on. And they do this every year, except it's in September this year, which is a little bit earlier. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Joe.
Eddie, you want to tell us about the Friends?
The Friends have been working with the council and the Rotary on the upcoming event, and we're hoping to help sell some tickets. There's a flyer over here, and there's also a flyer for the next, for the History Talk that the Friends is sponsoring. Dagmar is a volunteer this week, and she's selling tickets over here as people want them, okay? Also, the knitting people from the senior center have donated 2 beautiful hand-knit Norwegian wool sweaters that will be raffling off at the next 3 events.
Good.
So that's something that, and that will go to the knitters of the senior center, I guess. Okay?
So is that what you're working on now?
Because you want to know if that's what you're working on.
Hardly.
Okay.
It'll be a while.
Okay. All right. And a list of potential programs and activities for a new facility. The subcommittee is on. So,
Want to take it?
I didn't go to the last meeting. No, I guess not.
No, we didn't have one. The only thing I could say is that there was a notice from Dr. Price to add to what we have put together. We read that the last time, sort of like a wish list and all that. The only thing I could think of really is Betty was telling me about, this is really a big wish list. She was telling me about the court there in Marshfield, the pickleball that they have put together for their seniors. So, anything outdoors like that.
it's a big hit.
Yeah, but, we're a long way from that, I'm assuming. I can't add anything to what we've done.
No.
It was pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, I thought it was, and also, I think it's a little bit, we can put out a list of activities, but we don't know if they're going to be applicable.
Correct.
And I think we're kind of jumping ahead if we're being asked to design programs and things right now. The issue is to get the building, get the space, and then the needs of the seniors, the wants of the seniors. Linda is very capable of getting the programs that are needed, and at that time, I'm sure the program committee can jump in with some suggestions, but I think the idea of having, that we had to have enough space for exercise in the building, the outdoor facilities, and then I think the programs will just come. And if we also have room to bring Meals on Wheels back in, then we have a facility in which someone can come at 10 in the morning and have coffee, take a class, go and have their lunch, a hot meal usually at Meals on Wheels, and then perhaps watch a movie with popcorn for an hour in the afternoon. They've had a lovely day, and that's my thought on it anyway.
So I didn't add anything more to the list.
No, I didn't either. I read the note from Gordon, but I also felt that we had done all right.
Yes.
Oh, you did swell.
Just as an aside, calling your attention, there's going to be a movie here, I do believe it's tomorrow. They're going to start showing movies on Fridays. You can check with Linda, I'm thinking me, I think it's probably 12 or 1 o'clock, but just, it needs a little publicity, I think, to get people to know what's going to be there. And then
I
you
think
can
it's in
know
the
what
newsletter.
What
Yeah.
it is, what the topic is.
Right,
But-
good point, though, yeah. Well, I think, just going back, several meetings, I think Dr. Price and I think everyone was in agreement before you came on the board, to just start some plans and not just leave it, not to leave, we're all aware that tomorrow we're not moving to a new senior center. But, in the process, in the time that we do have, to try to formulate some guides, some plans, and they may or may not even work, but, I mean, you all put together, and this is a great extensive list. I don't know what more you could add, really. But I just think the idea that Dr. Price had maybe 6 or 7 months ago, when the subcommittees were formed, is to just have a guide formulated. Because I think, I can't quote him exactly, but something to the effect of, this is our one shot, wherever we go next, to make it as best as we can, to make it, to fill all the needs to the best of our abilities. So now we have lots of time. We don't have to be procrastinating at the last minute. It happened, whatever's going to happen came through, and let's, all scramble. And so, but, I mean, this is an extensive list. It's certainly a great guide.
I think we've made a lot of beginnings over the years I've been on the board. And there's been lots of discussion, and lots of possibilities, and lots of opportunities. But I have to say, I don't know that we can even add to that wonderful list at this time. I'm sure we can. Anybody else?
It's kind of like when you build a new home, a new private home. If you are lucky enough to build your own home and you have your own plans, I was not, but I was, and my family was. You build a home and it's nearing completion. You go, oh my God, we can do this, we can do that, we can do that, we can do this. So when we get our new home, there's going to be lots of, flexibility and additions.
Adjustments.
Yeah. Hopefully no subtractions.
Well, it sounds like with the list, you'll be able to justify why you need the space that so you want to be able to prove
Right.
why you need the space.
Right.
Because Dr. Price at one point, not too long ago, a few meetings ago, at one point anyway, he mentioned that eventually, he may be asked or asking to go before the Board of Selectmen. And this is definitely a fact-oriented project, because they've heard it all before, like, we want a senior center. It's got to be fact-based. So, and the facts are gathering, that's for sure.
I think this is what the beginning of putting it all together, focusing, just objective data. Where
Absolutely.
to go this document. All right, in old business, I realized we didn't go over the monthly report, the outreach for Jenny. If you want to look under services provided, the totals, fuel assistance, Medicare, housing, so forth. Anybody have any questions? It's nice to know that Jenny's having outreach hours at the Housing Authority.
Yes, that's great. It's a very good thing.
Isn't that a good idea?
Yes.
And she makes home visits to the homebound,
Yes.
which is superb. She's meeting with the manager of social service, and she goes to task force meetings. It bears repetition that the fuel assistance season has started, and open enrollment for Part D starts in November, and they're taking pre-employment forms now. So this is when you want to ask questions or come in if you have to see Jenny. Any questions, anybody? All right, move on. Transportation. Daily, $4.98. The link, $67. Map, volunteer, 6. Total of $5.72. We don't have the total volunteer hours, but we can fill that in. The total miles driven, I'm always surprised when I see this because it doesn't go that far, I don't think, and it's 1,477 miles. That's good. Link
It
rides.
adds up real quick.
Yep.
I'm sure it does.
Link rides slowed a bit. There was a total of 76 requests and 9 cancellations.
It's too bad.
That's almost 12%, which is a significant amount of time and work for nothing. The plus side is that we save funds for later in the fiscal year. Van mileage is up a bit due to cultural trips, which are very popular, and I've heard a lot of good reviews from the people that have gone on these trips. Attended a MAP meeting and will receive $3,000 through SES for medical transportation for the fiscal year of 16. Any questions? Anybody? That's good.
I just, once again, I've said this, several times throughout my time here on the board, but Linda's staff, and formerly in the past years, they were the same people, Jenny, Hugh Cutler with transportation, and particularly Jill Johnston, are an integral part of making this senior center work. And they do their job so well, and then Laura Manier came on board, and she's a big asset, a big help. But I think they're like the unsung heroes. That's why from time to time I feel like, especially mentioning, because having volunteered here at the senior center for many years, I actually witnessed what they do and how they cope and how kind they are, et cetera, et cetera. So just kudos to the unsung heroes.
I agree.
I also think it's good to have them rotating into these meetings.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So,
Any new business?
Linda's not here, but, and this is but at least it will be on record, but I just thought it would be nice if we kept any business dealings with the senior center, any catering, but a lot of catering situations, and give the business to Scituate town businesses. And I bring that up because it just seems a good thing to keep Scituate money in Scituate, and I'm not on the Chamber of Commerce, but she's not here, but at least it's on record in the minutes.
Price is always, I would think.
yeah, important.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
You go where you can get most for your money.
Right, well, obviously, but, yeah.
It would be nice. It would be the thing to do.
Yeah, well, just, if it's possible.
Yep.
Because I'm sure that some of the catering businesses in Scituate, if they found out that they were in competition with the catering business from Duxbury, would be happy to possibly, if they wanted the business, meet the pricing. They don't have to give formal bids, but.
I think in the past we used the business communities here.
Right,
The
but
catering.
the 4th of July lunch was catered by a Duxbury Catering Company. That's why I just brought that up. That's all.
All right. There's no business. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
Is there any old business?
I
Yeah.
We just, okay, sorry.
did all
Nothing on the
business.
agenda. I know.
I did all business. Remember we went over transportation, Jenny Gervis.
Oh, yeah, but I thought those were the transportation. That's okay, no problem. I thought that was
Do you have anything you want to bring up?
No, now that I know Laura Manier and Laura Manero is back, and so the Friendly Visitor Program has a good chance of getting started again. That was settled at last month's meeting anyway.
I'll bring up a question. Does anybody have any feedback on GATRA?
I've heard nothing but good
The
things.
schedule was in the senior bulletin.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Good.
I mean, you know, I see the seniors throughout the week a lot, and I believe it was at the last meeting that Linda mentioned that she had a meeting with Frank Gay, and at that point, it was 40% ridership, which he sensed was that's part of the curve of, you know. But everybody I've talked to, and it's also, it's from time to time gets on Scituate Monthly, the website, and everybody's just pleased. There were a couple of comments on Facebook, even that, you know, a young parent could hop on the GATRA van and
Yep.
take their kids down for an ice cream.
Or kids can, now the school starts, kids
Right.
can come out of school and go down to the harbor.
Right.
Right?
So we'll
Yeah.
sort of see and gauge. I'm just curious as
Yeah.
if anybody's had any feedback.
And did any of you try it? Anybody?
We took our knitting group jumped on the bus last week, and we did, just to see what it was like.
And did you like it?
Yeah, it was great. The guy was really terrific, and they're very accommodating.
That's great.
Good.
It passes a lot of convenient places where people can jump on and off.
Yeah, good.
I rode around a day when he happened to be handing out canvas bags that said GATRA. So what did I luck out? I picked the day to give it a trial run, and I got a free bag too.
You never know.
I have a question. Does anyone know when they'll be changing the route for North Scituate?
No, but that's an excellent question.
I
We
think
should
it was
have our-
on the table to be looked at the end of this month. I
Oh,
think,
the end of this month?
the end of September.
Because the folks at Lincoln Park, if they're not upset for themselves, because some of them are quite elderly, people are upset on their behalf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
I was
They're- they're on
mentioning
the-
it.
Right now, we need to get them in the loop.
Yeah, and I do take the Shaw's pickup to Lincoln Park usually every month, every week when there's an overload of goods. And I know that I run into the people there, and they say, well, you know, even though some of them have cars, they're watching their pennies. They say, well, if the van came here,
Yeah. They use it.
I would take it.
Yep.
You know, when they run into me in the community room. So I hope that gets remedied.
I'm sure. Well, I think they just had to start a test run to see how.
Yeah.
it was
Oh, yeah, well,
going.
it's a pilot program from
Yep.
day
I
one.
know some of the seniors have been able to go to church because on Sunday, they've been able to take to church.
Good.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
really?
Because it goes down, yeah, to St. Luke's. That's excellent.
Well, in St. Mary's and the Methodist churches.
Yeah.
Right. Sure, coming down First Parish.
That's good. Maybe God will put a plug in for GATRA.
All right. Anybody have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll
Second.
second adjourn.
Go Pats.
Thank you, Audrey.